and let's talk about becoming a vacation rental design expert. What are you going to learn? My wine to the side. We are going to talk about how to understand kind of the short term rental market, have a keen understanding so we know how to market to it. We know how to kind of design this service around it, why this market needs you, how adding this service kind of benefits your current staging and design business, or even if you do not have a current staging and design business, how you can start something like this, doing this sort of design, how to get started. Trade and retail shopping kind of hot tips, how to crush this service, how to make money, and the easiest and best way to market Airbnb design. And if I give you all sorts of good information, is it okay if I tell you a little bit about my course and I have a special on this course? If so, in the chat, go ahead and put yes. Who is this for? You are in the right place. If you are a new home stager or designer, I know a lot of you are. If even if, like I said, if you're thinking about the industry, my veteran stagers and designers, a lot of you I know have been offering this. I see Emma's on the line from Australia. She's one of my longtime veterans. Design enthusiasts. It's not a workshop though on how to host Airbnbs. We're all about design and design services for Airbnbs, not necessarily about hosting, although I do have hosts sometimes who try and get tips on design, but this is really about how you become kind of add that Airbnb design service to your business. Basically, if you like to see rooms, and this is a before photo, obviously, go like this to this, you are in the right place. And that probably sounds like most of you. It sounds like you're all yes. Okay. Who am I? If you don't know who I am, my name is Audra Slinky. I'm president of the Home Staging Resource. I started kind of the first online mixed media staging and design training back in 2006. So I've been doing this quite some time. I blog for the National Association of Realtors. I've won some wonderful awards. I've shared the stage. I'm going to RISA convention tomorrow and speaking there on how to add design. So I'm always very excited to do this particular workshop because it's all about adding an easier form of design, which is Airbnb design. So it's exciting. But the thing I love most is training people who have a passion for design and showing them how they can make money actually doing what they love, taking that passion and making money. So if you ever see these logos, this is my staging training. I have a color training, a concept board or e-design training, and now my vacation design training. If you see any of these logos, these are my people. If you are one of my people, you know I love a shout out if you have it. I get nervous every time I do these. Great. And I actually have my own rentals. So I've actually designed and am a host of some of my own rentals. I have a lake place. I have a mountain place. So the design obviously for two different places is different. Look at you guys are great. Um, but I also interviewed many, many top stagers and designers in the Airbnb design field. And I created kind of a complete course, kind of a solution that is a wonderful niche for people that I'm finding. And how many of you on the chat have done any sort of Airbnb design? If you have, go ahead and put me. I know a lot of people end up just falling into this. Yeah, I love it. So throughout this short workshop, I only have less than an hour with you. You're going to see some people's stories that I've worked with and examples because I can't really show you what you can create or how you do this without you seeing some examples of what I also provide in my training. I'm not necessarily doing that to sell you on it. I'm doing it to show you what kind of things you can create, how to do it so that you can offer it yourself. And that's kind of what I do in my training. So you're going to see kind of these three phases because I feel like people have to go through these three phases, which I'm going to go through really quickly in this workshop to really be able to offer this really well with clients. All right, I can see a lot of you have done it. That's wonderful. So let's go back to why Airbnb. Obviously, it's the epitome of kind of the sharing economy. Started way back in 2008, but you guys all know post COVID explosive growth. 14,000 hosts join Airbnb every month. And these days, what we're seeing is it's just creating a lot of competition. How many of you guys feel that in your area or kind of where you're at? That now there's a lot more Airbnbs. And so there's a lot more competition. Anyone can be a hotel owner essentially. And it's grown over 1,000%. Yeah. Interestingly, I can't really talk about Airbnbs without really talking about who we're really designing for. And it is kind of an entire generation of a millennial, kind of Gen Z, who really represent Airbnb. There's 75% of all consumers and travelers in 2025 and beyond. So as a designer, we always have to go, okay, who are we really designing for? And travel is statistically really deeply important to this generation. If any of you are on the chat and that is your generation, you understand this, right? So they actually sometimes prioritize that even over home buying, and they really see travel statistically as experiences. And this actually has led to a lot of the growth of Airbnb. So, why is designing Airbnb so critical? Why can't somebody just like a home seller throw a home up and hopefully someone will buy it? Why can't people look past it? Well, obviously in Airbnb, they're looking for those experiences. The astronomical growth means there's just more competition. It used to be that you had the only Airbnb in town and of course it was booked. Now people aren't seeing that. So it's becoming more difficult to stand out for hosts. And the one way to stand out obviously is great photos of beautiful rooms. So it's not enough to just simply list it. You have to speak to your target guest. You have to kind of stand out in that crowded space. And those of you on the line who are stagers, any of you on here, if you're a stager, go ahead and put me. I'll be curious. This sounds very familiar to us in the staging world. And this is why I kind of, having started a staging training, yeah, this is kind of a next step because it's very, very similar. It's all about the photos and description. Hosts lose money like sellers lose money when the property is not occupied. They also can raise their prices, like sellers can raise the price of the home when the rental is dialed in. It's just pure economics, you guys. You improve upon a product, you're going to see better pricing. So, this is kind of more necessity design, unlike interior design, that's just a little bit more of a luxury for a lot of us. It's kind of like staging, it's kind of the necessity. So, why you can rock this in highly competitive markets, like I said, it's staging on steroids. It's really easy to add to your current design and staging service. This is the thing that my stagers tell me they absolutely love. It's business to business. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why that is. So there's just a bit more money into it, and it's justifiable spending. The host gets superhost designation when they get great reviews and they get happy clients. And similar to the home seller, it's really even hard for hosts. Design is not usually their thing to be objective. And also, a lot of Airbnb hosts are remote. So they're not even there to receive the materials and design the space. Here's another before photo. We're going to show you quite a few of these. I'm featuring a lot from my girl, Ann Annika, who does a lot of complete transformations at high levels for Airbnbs. And save your questions, guys, to the end. And yes, I will be sending a replay at the end, but obviously you can see being live in the chat is kind of fun and where it's at. All right. So why is this important, I think, for stagers and designers? There's very few stagers and designers, especially when I did my research, who are really actively targeting and tackling this growing market. And hardly any of them have a separate page on their website that has its own search engine optimization dedicated to it, and or are kind of advertising their services in their area. I hardly ever see that. Even rare are the ones that are actively marketing this service. So these partners, these business partners that you would be marketing to, they're really easy to find and they are looking for specialists to make them look good. So frankly, there's just this big need. It's a win-win for everyone. Um, Business partners like, here's my girl Trisha, who partnered, she's in Florida, with a mortgage group, which would not have been a business partner I would have expected. The business partners that you'd be targeting would be Airbnb property managers, Airbnb real estate investors, super hosts who typically have several Airbnbs. But here she was targeting a mortgage group and she handles all their Airbnbs. She does the design plan and puts it in the room. Sorry, I'm going fast because I got a lot to tell you about. So it's kind of an easy way to expand your services to an open and lucrative design market. For those of you, especially, I see a lot of you were stagers and you're like, I don't want to do full service design. That seems like a lot. This is kind of a very similar design to staging. So it's kind of a natural progression to add first. because it also has that lovely repeat business. Similar to staging, you have that repeat business where you're partnering with investors, you're partnering with superhosts and those property managers, the mortgage companies like Trisha. And even I've seen people partner with rental house cleaning companies who get asked, do you know anyone who's good at design? For those of you who are stagers, you actually do have a particular advantage because a lot of you have the warehouse space. You're already staging empty, vacant homes. So you have whether it's your storage locker or warehouse space. So you have a little bit more a benefit on the logistics to receive the product for an Airbnb home. You already have the trade connections. We're going to talk about how to shop wholesale and trade in this. And you have the relationships in place. So it's kind of an easy add-on service to what you're already doing. Also, as a stager, you're able to fill in the gaps. So if that coffee table did not arrive in time, you can pull from your inventory at least to cover that first renter that's coming in so that you can grab that coffee table when it comes next week. So you have that inventory to do that and even turn over inventory. So it's been a real win-win for my stagers. I love this. Brian Thomas told me that when he knows that he is staging a home that is particularly perfect for the Airbnb real estate investor, he leaves this flyer at the staged home, which says the furnishings in this home will completely support your business opportunity for a vacation rental. Ask us how. So he can actually sell all the furnishings. This is how he even turns over his staging furnishings. Mitch, who I love to share his stories. Mitch is one of my students. I love him. He's actually speaking at the RESA convention on Airbnb design, which I love. But he shared how he worked with an investor for a staging job, selected all of the finishes, everything, and then it turned into the short-term rental. So he kind of went from one job to the next. But here, let's just talk brass tacks. You actually make more money doing Airbnb design because they're typically whole home projects. So you can also charge more as a specialist in this niche. It's less about budget, it's more about increased rates. Quality furnishing saves people in the long run. Your hosts do not want things to break next year. So investing in quality, they can kind of make that connection. The ability, it's kind of fun for us as designers to get creative, find spaces, brand spaces, along with have a little bit of artistic leeway in the overall design is a lot of fun. Holly Jones, one of my stagers who does a lot of Airbnb design, she shared in our stagers group, our Facebook group, that she's been an Airbnb designer. In just 5 months, she's actually done 12 fully furnished Airbnbs, absolutely loves it. She took my course. And what I love that she does, you can see from her photos, is she actually puts a little bit of her area, Branson, Missouri, into every bit of the home. So you can see she's kind of got a little bit more fun. You can get a little bit more crazy. Here she's kind of created these kind of custom signs, which I think is really smart. She kind of keeps with the color scheme. And then she even created this cute sign, just had a little bit of fun, so that the home, everybody knows how close the home is to all the attractions. Any of you in the chat, especially you who have done Airbnb design, what kind of cute creative things have you created? Just go to put it in the chat. I love to kind of sometimes hear your ideas as I kind of move through this workshop. So that also brings me to some hot tips while you're designing. Um, you got to think about photographable spaces because your guests are there to actually take photos. They're posting on Instagram. Designed for those millennial use, like I said. Surprise and delight the guest by adding unexpected touches. It is the little thing. Statistically, I could give you statistic after statistic. People will give reviews and pay more for those amenities. And it really is all in the details and the expectation. I love this before photo. This was just kind of an empty kind of basement space when you walk into a home that Annika designed. And you can see when you walk downstairs, and most of the home was upstairs, there was this mirror here that you could slide open. She could put that and she made it a door and she created a little speakeasy. How great is that? Look at this speakeasy in that basement area. Um, did this add obviously a lot more to the budget for that host? Yes. But is this Airbnb standing out in that marketplace and getting a lot more rentals and a higher rental? Absolutely. So, spending on the important stuff and, as stagers and designers, and a lot of you, we're used to doing that. Spend on the wow, the statement stuff that won't get destroyed. Mix in the high-low furnishings for that luxurious look. So obviously high performance fabric for couches, ideally slip covered so they will last. Sturdy furniture, really not assembled furniture. That stuff kind of breaks, has a bit more longevity. Go luxe on the bedding, splurge on those statement pieces, like I said, art and lighting. Here's another before photo of Annika, just a little A-frame upstairs bedroom. And she kind of made it just a little bit more desirable and kind of splurged on the lighting. It's a statement piece. It's not going to get damaged and it's beautiful. Uh, And then you save on the lesser stuff. What are you saving on? People have mentioned this pillows because those are gonna run through. Pillows, decor, rugs, you're gonna be replacing kitchen stocking items. Amazon is perfect for that. And I always tell my students, become an Amazon brand kind of ambassador, influencer, and then you can kind of give those links so that they can replace them and you make a little bit of money on everything they buy, from the bedding basics to the kitchen stocking items to the mattress covers and whatnot. So, getting started, you want to learn the demographic. Just go to Airbnb, start researching your area. You guys see what's out there. And what I tell people to do is look at the $1,000 a night rental. If that's your area, a lot of us are in areas like that, and the $200 or the $100 a night rental, and look at the difference because you can see a distinct difference, and it just will help you kind of understand what kind of market you want to tackle. And like I said, consider that affiliate. There's two other income streams you can get, not just Amazon affiliate, but you also get trade income stream when you do these whole home designs. Now, one of the goodies I'm going to give you on the replay page is my vacation rental critical inventory checklist in PDF. This is something I give to my members in a Canva template when they join the training. And what they can do then is link to their Amazon favorites brand page. This is free for you to set up on Amazon and you get like a little bit, but it's kind of fun. So you can have kind of your kitchen stocking items, which I will have, and you'll see examples of what I have because you'll see links to my Amazon page. So a lot of my members will go in there and just create their own kind of Amazon pages, from the kitchen checklist to the bathroom to the bedroom, all those items. So let's talk about, you do need to know your design numbers. You do need to know how to do quick floor plans. Obviously, most of you already know that, but even if you don't, I do walk people through that. How to shop trade and when to shop trade. What are the best sources for quick purchasing? Because I think it's a good idea, like I said, on those slipcover couches, on those sturdy chairs, tables, things like that, to incorporate trade items. You do make money on all of those pieces, starting with the concept board for your clients so that they're all on the same page. A lot of your hosts are going to be remote. So, and this is the thing, this kind of phase two that I talk about in my training, how to shop, clickable rules, creating those boards. And this is an example of how my girl Leia does it. She actually travels the country and does Airbnbs across the country. And she's blown up. She's been to Vegas, Tennessee, New York, Florida. And what she does is she works with these remote Airbnb designers. She creates the kind of board plan. And then here's a before photo of a room. And it's not a terrible room in an Airbnb, but it just wasn't getting traction. And then here's her, and she just loves the maximalist design. Somebody asked, I know, Bonnie, save your questions. I'm going to do questions at the end, but can't help it. She said, do your pillows walk away? No, they don't. This is why you have your cleaning crew. This is why you have your photos. So your cleaning crew knows what's there. And Airbnb even has their own insurance policy that you're covered for any big loss of items for the host. That's kind of the host kind of concern, but they're usually always covered. And a pillow is like a $25 item. Anyway, okay. So I love Mitch's story. An agent who knew of his staging work um, contacted him about an investor client. And so here's the importance of, I think, creating kind of the design plan first. How many of you in the chat use design files for mood boards, staging? If you go ahead and just put yes, I'm curious. So you can see from creating, you kind of create these design boards, mood boards using design files, and then you get the overall look. So the client actually can kind of see what's going in the space. It can be a separate service, so they can just shop direct if you want, or it can be a full install service where you actually install. Here's another example of a design board he did for a bedroom. Yeah, I see that you guys do it, and that's such a good idea because here's the thing, these boards create trust. Everyone's on the same page. It's kind of design step 101. So start by getting to know that, create the board you're sourcing. It's a very easy project. And then next level, I always recommend using Side Door. How many of you use Side Door? That's where you can shop trade. You go on Side Door. It's free for designers and stagers to use, where then people can buy direct from that. All right. Just so you know, Mitch made $20,000 on that one project. So when I talk about it being kind of a revenue generating service, kind of even better than staging for my stagers, it's very true. And it's a very similar service because you're putting in a lot of the similar things. One thing that you know that's going to work, items that you know are going to work, are a lot of times going to work in almost every house. Align this service when you're creating it for your business similar to your other design services. You don't need to, reinvent the wheel with this, but understand that speed and efficiency is really critical. Have an onboarding process that breeds professionalism, expertise, and credibility, and always speak to the client's benefits. What is the outcome here? What do we want? And this is something that I talk about kind of in extreme, kind of how do we process to sell? How do we speak to the struggle? There's a struggle out there. Airbnb hosts have Airbnb. Do you guys think Airbnb hosts have a different struggle than Airbnb property managers, right? Airbnb property managers are getting hammered by their hosts when their homes are sitting unoccupied, not no guests. And they're like, why do I have my property manager? Nobody's coming. What's the problem? And so you're a different solution for the Airbnb property managers. And this is a great solution that you can offer, that they can offer to their clients. So I always think it's good to have this success path for every design service that you offer. Starts with kind of the contact form on your site. They can look at the costs, how much things cost, schedule a call, consultation. You're going to do the design board. I already showed you that. And then the order, install, and ultimately they're going to get an in-demand, better occupancy, higher rates, and repeat raves. You can create this yourself. I always recommend using HoneyBook. This is kind of an example of HoneyBook. It's a customer relationship management project software. How many of you guys use that in your staging and design service? Whether it's Dubsado, 17 Hats, HoneyBook, it kind of manages all the administrative side to your business, kind of a customer relationship management software. But it lets you create kind of these contact or questionnaire forms. It manages all your contracts, invoicing, proposals. It really does everything for you. So when somebody comes to your site and they're looking for that type of service versus staging or design, they're going to get your investment guide. Oh, good. Yeah. You're going to love it, Bonnie. And your investment guide. So this is kind of something you could create in Canva. How many of you have heard of Canva? CAMVA. It's free. In the chat, go ahead and put yes, no. Okay, good. It's okay. You're going to be hopefully writing down some of these tools and then you can refer back to them, but they're just all these tools that are great for your business. And most of them cost next to nothing. I'm all about making money. This is how you make money. You automate, automate, automate. So you can create something like this in Canva really easily. This I give to people in Canva in my training. And when you create something like this, you can go into Canva and search for kind of magazine style and search for interior designer price guide or something, and you'll get kind of an idea of something. It'll help you, and but it won't be exactly like this. Obviously, we have professional designers that created this. So the first page, you want to introduce the benefits of whatever service it is that you're selling. In this case, Airbnb design. Second page, all about you, branding. What are the benefits? Like, here's a bit about me. This is where you make your connections. Then your team, if you have one, or you can just take that out because I know a lot of us are solopreneurs, and that's fine. You can absolutely do this as a solopreneur, you guys. Obviously, then your portfolio. And then you talk about your design difference. Why are you different? Why are you specialized? Why should they pick you over just a regular interior designer? And really, it's about, whether you have package and pricing transparency, you understand you're an expert in the market in your area, you are designed for cost efficiency, you understand return on investment, you're going to save them time, you're going to save them money, you're going to minimize sourcing overwhelm because they are overwhelmed with what to buy and where to put and how to get everything in the space. You're going to let them visually see the space when you create the design plan. That'll keep them to avoid costly mistakes. So all these things are so good. And you might actually, there are statistics out there on the benefits of good design and how people make money on good design when it comes to Airbnb design. So this is kind of an example of an investment guide, like I said, that I give to my members, but that you should create. Obviously, always include your frequently asked questions. This is an opportunity for you to tackle their objections. And once they get that, then they can be like, I want to talk to you. Yes, I do need help. Do you think I need to sell myself when they book a discovery call with me or that first phone call when they've looked at my investment guide? No. And it's this kind of professionalism and pre-qualifying that I think is really needed in general in the staging and design industry. I'm going to be speaking about that at Reed's Convention, and a lot of us just don't do it. So imagine you guys only spending time on the phone with qualified prospects who know your process, they know your pricing, and they're your ideal clients. Wouldn't it feel great to not have to sell? So this is an example of kind of the key questions you'd want to ask in that phone call. Obviously, and you might feel free to screenshot, or that's why I always use my phone. Um, and I think if you know the square footage and you know the estimated kind of price and what that kind of house is worth, kind of rooms, the nightly rate, what they'd like to see, the space, you have a pretty good idea. So here's where I think designers kind of go wrong when it comes to this service. They don't have a credible or specific service process in place. They're trying to kind of input their interior design services into Airbnb design rather than recognizing this is a specialty service. They don't understand it's a unique market. So they got to speak to the struggles. You got to understand how to capitalize on it, speak to your current market's needs. And all you guys, everywhere you live, all of you live all over the world. Every single market is different. In my own market, I live in Encinitas, California. It is a beach community. But even in my little town, there is a rural horse area community and there is a beach community. And if I wanted to travel 5 miles, I would be in a city community, a walking city community. I could be in the downtown community. So and I know a lot of you have that. So what is the market you want to hit? And speaking to it. And here's a big mistake I see all of us make when it comes to even staging design, but especially when it comes to Airbnb design, not educating on product costs and the benefits of quality. So, how many of you in the chat have worked with clients who say they want restoration hardware look, but they really have a Walmart budget? Anyone? You could just in the chat put me if that's you. Because I know I always, yeah, Darlene, oh my God, all the time. I know. And you know what? Here's the thing. We get so irked because we shop all the time and we know what things are worth. But you know what? Our clients do not understand what things are worth. They don't get it. They get it when you actually explain it to them. So this is why I think it's good. I do provide like a spreadsheet of what things are worth per space, depending on where you're shopping. So I have this kind of Canva template in my training, but I think it's a good idea for you to create it because you kind of know you shop. And here's how I would outline it. Here's a typical living room where you're going to have a floor rug, you're going to have a sofa, you're going to have chairs, and they also don't know how much things add up. And so in the Airbnb realm, we can go just to decent. Obviously not in the interior design realm, we won't. And what is decent? IKEA, Amazon, Target. It's really cheap. Not ideal, and we can talk about that, but that's what that is. But it still adds up. To mid-tier, which would be kind of Wayfair and your local furniture stores, to better sources like Pottery Barn, in less expensive trade, CB2. So they can see the difference and then they can add it up. They can do the budget. And when they can do the budget, you can kind of connect. There is definitely a connection. So that connection is what? It is the direct relationship between their budget, guest expectation, furnishing quality, and rental price. All of those things are tied together because guests do have an expectation. If guests are paying $1,000 a night, do you think they're going to want to sit on an Amazon couch? No. So the other mistake I see designers make is there's very little competition in this market, very few. Do some research after this call. Search your area for an Airbnb designer. You will hardly find any. They're not actively marketing, so they can actually raise their prices because they're specializing. Another mistake is there is a timeline, you guys, when it comes to this, because we're doing whole home design. It starts with the property assessment, usually takes 10 days, to source items. And then we present it to the client, and then we place orders for all those things. So takes time to do the receiving and to be photograph ready. Most hosts understand this, but it's always good to educate. I think it's also a good idea to separately package and stair step the pricing. I'm going to tell you a little bit what I mean by that. So, a lot of times, like I said, I see designers, they're trying to price like a designer instead of packaging like an expert. This is a big conversation. How many of you, if you're a designer, are really seeing a lot of the heat up in the conversation between hourly pricing and package pricing as a designer stager? That a lot of people really want to figure out a way to package. Clients like that. It's more transparent. How do we do that? So I think it's best personally, and this is what I teach in my training, to package in relationship to that furnishing budget guide. We talked about that. So the price kind of allows a client to value down, value up. You want cheap? Here we go. Here's what that looks like. We want a little bit better guest expectation, better guest nightly rates. Let's bump this up. So here's an example, and don't screenshot and go, okay, I got pricing, I'm going to go, because there's a lot to demographic background and stuff in my training. I spent a couple hours on this, but it gives you an idea where I go with a square footage pricing to the decent to the good. And you see, this is very connected to the furniture budget guide on the square footage pricing and what to expect. And this is not for the entire home, right? There's other things that are packaged separately, which helps. Like a kitchen would be packaged differently because there's a lot that goes into a kitchen. Audiovisual, a lot that goes into audiovisual, all the necessary bedding, sheets, and all that. So packaging though makes it very clear to the client that what they're getting is kind of an all-inclusive price to what they need. Love it. All right. Some some of the other mistakes we make or where they go wrong is we're reacting to the wrong client rather than treating it as a specialty service. We're not actively marketing. So when you're actively marketing with your ideal clients, and I said I haven't seen really very many stagers or designers do this. The ones that do, like Holly, they're busy. Um, those ideal clients are more than willing to pay, and they understand the connection between guest rate and quality and all of that stuff. So here's some hot tips for marketing. Target real estate investors, Airbnb property managers for the best repeat markets. I already kind of told you that. Not hard to find. Google. They're in Facebook groups, in your local Facebook groups, especially. They're all over. And create what I recommend, a systemized approach that gives them something of value and builds your credibility, like the budget guide I just showed you, or a host list, or something that they're going to want. So in my training, this just gives you an example. Again, I give this as a Canva template to my members to totally tweak, and it's an inventory checklist. What host doesn't want to do that? What property manager doesn't want to give that to their new Airbnb hosts? Here, property manager, I have an inventory list that they can just check off so they make sure they get everything right in their space. And or a budget guide so they can really kind of work their budget and stay on budget. So these are two kind of, if you call, they're lead magnets where you can sell these. You can do Instagram or Facebook ads. Even the investment guide that I showed you is a form of a lead magnet because you want to know my pricing. Here's a form on my site, quick questionnaire, fill it out. And once I know that, I'm going to email them all about the benefits of using my design services over anyone else. We also have a welcome packet in our training. that is completely customizable that my designers tweak, and they can even give that. So there's several different kind of lead magnets, if you will. This is marketing kind of 101, but this is how you get your phone to ring. This is how you constantly fill that pipeline with wonderful, ideal clients. And this is, I do it myself. A lot of you probably saw me on Facebook and Instagram. And here it is. Here's an example of is this Instagram or Facebook, one of them, where I talk about how they get their room by room checklists. And I get their email, and what you do is you do targeted Facebook ad funnel. So you say, I'm just searching for people in my area. This is what the ad looks like. Instagram and Facebook are the same, you guys. So they will work with you to create that ad. And then you have an email sequence. I give this in my training um, with a call to action. And the call to action is this: schedule your discovery call or get your investment guide. And then once they go to your site, this is the beauty that I love about Instagram and Facebook. You can retarget them with other goodies. So they keep seeing you, because marketing is really just getting people to know, like, and trust you. And also it's repeat. You're just reminding them that you're there. How many of you that are stagers and designers have some sort of lead funnel or marketing set up in place for your business already that you do for your design services? In the chat, go ahead and put yes. I'll be curious, because I don't see enough of us do this. And the thing about Facebook and Instagram is you guys may be going, what is a ROA? Return on your ad spend. It'll tell you exactly what you're getting. You'll know from the business that you get. And then the thing is once you start getting busy and start working on referral business, you can shut it off. There are also Airbnb websites and associations that actually are filled with your ideal target markets. I've had members of mine go into a real estate investor association meeting with kind of examples of her Airbnb design plans and ask investors, so, hey, do you ever work with Airbnb designers? And she's like, I had one investor say, oh yeah, I already do. And she's all, is this the sort of thing that they give you before they do an install? And she showed her work, and he's like, no. Okay. I love it. You know, so anyway, they're all over the place. So create that automated process. And why do I recommend you do the automated process? It looks like very few of you have it. And that's the good news for anyone. Even if you're just entering into the design and staging world, you're brand new. If you set up this process for yourself and just fill your pipeline, it's so easy to start getting business and busy when you set up, because nobody is doing it. They get busy. So do it before you're busy. Okay. That intentional marketing system fuels your ideal people. Onboarding actually will weed out your Walmart budget. You don't have to spend time on them. Your hosts will be wowed by you. Instead of selling, like I said, you're exploring in the call, because ultimately, you guys, confidence comes from knowledge and systems. So investing in those materials and learning inevitably leads to more confidence. It's that structure. So I have a 48-hour special. It's a $50 coupon on my Airbnb course. So you got a glimpse of a lot of the things that are in there. It's a 3-day course that walks you through how you would offer this service for your business. Website verbiage, all the email sequence follow-ups for every one of those lead magnets, how you would shop trade, where to shop trade, how you create those design plans, how do you research your market. So all of it is covered. It's literally 3 days, and it's perfect add-on service to your business and just saves you all sorts of time. So you're not reinventing this yourself. Um, if you go to the checkout, I'm going to send a replay. I'm going to send a link to this. So when you go to the checkout, go ahead and just put in that coupon code. It's Airbnb, and you save $50. A lot of people forget to put the coupon code in, so I always have to share that. I always have to say it. Because what I give you, it's really just a blueprint and guide to give you the confidence. So even I've had people who have no design or staging business actually start this business, because they have 9 modules to give you kind of confidence. I walk you through the right measurements, how to measure the space, how to do the design side. So if you have that passion for design, I always tell you guys this: if you have a passion for design, how many of you in the chat have been designing rooms since you were a kid? You've been training yourself all your life. And I always say, I'm just taking that passion. Are you going to be better tomorrow than you are today? Yes, but that's okay. This is like starting any new job. Taking that passion, I walk you through how you structure that whole thing. It makes you look good. We have Facebook group. I have trainer support. The thing about online training is you always refer back to it. So it always gives you kind of that bit of confidence. And it's copy and paste materials. Really, it is. So it's the forums, the Canva templates. And for those of you who do have existing staging and design business, people have just launched their business in 3 days, like Annika. So it's all of kind of these materials. So it's package pricing. I have package pricing. Even my longtime interior designers are like, oh my gosh, mind blown. Why didn't I think of this? I'm going to do this now for my design business. An automated marketing system. I show you how to set that up that fuels your leads. I love it. Jennifer said she was blown away. She's so grateful. She's actually taking her business in a whole new direction, which I absolutely love. I've seen a lot of people do this. They're kind of pivoting. It's kind of an exploding market, and she just loves it. And like I said, it's 9 modules. So any questions on the training, go ahead in the chat. I'm just going to go through this really quickly, and you can see all the steps we go through. Sarah said the same thing. Just loves it. She took a couple of my other courses. I try and do it bite size. You spent an hour with me, so you can imagine kind of like 4 hours a day. It's about to kind of really get this up with a lot of activity, another 4 hours of activity to really set it up for your business. And I love what Teresa says because I love my girl Teresa. She says, thanks to you, I wake up every day thankful and grateful. I do what I love to do: staging, color, e-design. They've all played a major part in helping me grow my short-term rental business. And she just loved it. All right. Any questions? Phew, you guys are great. A little more quieter than usual, but I love it. Any questions on the training? I want to see if I can see most of you love design. Sandra, the principles are universal. All the Canva templates work for everywhere, pricing, everything. The shopping is a little bit trickier, but you can use those principles to shop trade locally. It is, Julie, it is at your own pace. It is self-guided. And that's the way I like to do it because I want you to be able to refer back to it. You can hit pause, make dinner, go back to it. You have access for a year, plenty of time to get through the 3 days. Any other questions? Now, I rarely offer these discounts, these coupon codes. Thanks, Lisa. So if you're even on the fence, and one thing that a lot of people don't realize is, whoops, let me go to the next page here, is I have a 72-hour no questions asked refund policy on all my courses because I am like you. I believe I just got to go in, make sure this is right for me. So you have nothing to lose. Donna, it covers a lot about vendors, how to work with contractors, obviously for renovation, bits like that. It covers all of it. Trade vendors. Sonia, what is the potential income that can be expected? That's a really good question. I told you Mitch made 20,000 on one small bungalow. So the expectation is on each kind of whole home project. What I always say is the way we kind of price it is that we're making 1/2 to 1/3 of the overall cost. Portion goes to the furniture, another portion goes to admin, then our design services. So 20 is kind of a base per project. So it's a matter of how much can you sell? How many can you really sell? Mayumi said, I don't have any experience. Can I do it? I love design. Absolutely, you can. This is, like I said, it's a niche service. Do the research, put the work in. That would be my first phase where I really walk you through how to become an expert, how to really speak the language, because this is a different type of design. How to understand what investors are going through and property managers, how to connect with sites that are really popular to them, how they make money on all of this. So absolutely can. If you love design, walks you through. We have a Facebook group of support. And there's so many great just design resources on how to design. My trainings they talk a bit about the how to design, but I know you already have it. And there's so many great resources out there too. Is the marketing system for Vacation Home is the one you offer for staging? Pam, staging is a different marketing system, right? For staging, we're speaking to a different struggle. So I do have my own kind of marketing system. Each one of my courses has these Canva different kind of marketing tools to automate the marketing. Absolutely. My ideal situation for every designer and stager is that for every one of your services, you have that lead funnel system that speaks to the struggles of that client for that service so that you're constantly filling your pipeline for it. Do you address nuances between midterm and short-term rentals? Winnie, I touched base on that. They're not too far apart when it comes to the design world, right? Because we are designing for something that will last. And ultimately, both short-term and midterm, they're hard on spaces. Midterm, not as much as short-term, but you still want that comfort. Uh, Somebody said, just making sure we can have this uh, as our main design business and not as an add-on to a current design business. Absolutely. I have a lot of designers who do this. This is what they do. Do do I have my staging course? My staging redesign course is a 3-week course that walks people how to start a business. So if you are like, I don't even know the first thing about starting, getting my business license, and it's not that hard. You could actually Google some of that. That's a great course to start with. A lot of people ask me that because it's 3 weeks. But I've had people take the short term and they get that going because it's all copy and paste. They set up, you get their site up, and they're set to go. Um, So Airbnb client purchases the merchants. Absolutely, Carol. They're purchasing all of it as opposed to regular staging. Yes, Carol, and staging, we're renting it. We do not want to rent. We are putting the design plan together. They're giving us the money. We're making the purchases. We're getting our trade product. We're making money on all the product, a lot of it, and our design services. Donna asked, do your systems and staging and stir integrate? So it looks like one business. Yeah, Donna, you kind of saw that contact form, that HoneyBook contact form that I showed you, where all the person's doing is selecting what service, whether it's staging, short-term rental, residential design. And then when they select that service, it goes to an email automation where they're getting the investment guide for that service, and they're getting my email follow-ups, copy and paste, that you can copy and paste, where you're never letting them go. You're always going to keep in touch and email them about that particular service. Kim asks, how much funding do I need to have to start this business from scratch? Kim, that's the beauty of it. You really don't need that much. I mean, if you are totally starting from scratch, this is like, you're going to want a website, obviously. We actually do have a website product. It's $8.99 and it's very good. It's for staging, design, e-design. It has all of that. But you could actually do it on Wix or Weebly and just go really low budget. You're going to just need to get your business license. That doesn't cost much. And you get it. In my training, I walk you through how you're always getting paid up front for everything you're doing. You're not spending any of your own money. You're not buying a single thing. The client is. They're paying you first for your design plan advice. So even your time is covered before you start doing anything for your clients. And some of the tools that I walked you through, Design Files and HoneyBook, they are subscription model tools, but they will save you hours and hours of work. So those are about, if you add those two tools together, maybe $80 a month. So it's so much cheaper to start this. And my training with the coupon right now is only $5.99. So it's an incredible deal. Yes, I talk about how to build credibility. You're getting my Canva templates. You saw how beautiful they were. That gives you instant credibility. It makes you look way better than anyone else. No, you do not need the design and decorating degree. You'll have the certification and the specialty in this sort of training. Lori asked what course first. I always say start with my 3-week Big Daddy. I always have to say that because it's so extensive and it does talk a lot about. I created that and then I created my add-on courses, color, e-design, and this one with the idea that most of my members take those courses. It's their natural progression in their businesses. They start with staging and design. They build that confidence in business model. It's a great place. Staging is a great place to start too. It's very similar. And then they add on these extra services, color consulting, concept only design plans, and then Airbnb design. Sandra, do I do bulk pricing on a bunch of trainings? $50 coupon is the best discount you're going to see on any one of my trainings. And absolutely, once you're in on one of my trainings, if you do get on this, if you want another training at the discount that I typically use, I don't do that. I'm not like other trainers that'll say save $500, because how irritating would you be if you were the one that paid $500 more? I can't stand that when people do that. But if that $50 is the thing that makes you pull the trigger and makes you pursue your passion, then do it, because it's awesome. You're going to love it. Jennifer, the 3-week course, it's at homestagingresource.com. That's my company. And it's my staging and redesign course. It's $12.97. It's a lot. It's my big daddy. But like I said, you could do this. I have people who do start this course. This is their starting point. You're going to learn a lot. Do you need to have inventory? No, Erica, your clients, you're just buying on behalf of your client. They're giving you the money. You're shopping for it. It's that easy. It's different than staging, which is nice. Oh, you guys are wonderful. Okay, once I said questions, you guys had some awesome, awesome questions. I really appreciate it. I hope to see some of you join me. I promise you will love it. Like I said, I've had 0 people not love any one of my trainings because I have my 72-hour refund policy, but also I've never had anyone not love it. They're filled, they walk you through step by step, they help you build your confidence. If I hope that because we all have this creative thing inside us, right? Where we need to indulge it. And it's such a great world right now. The design world is exploding right now. There is so much need out there for various types of design, and it's an exciting place to be. So, cheers to you. I hope to see you, hope to keep working with you, and please stay in touch. Thank you. Good night.